Ladies and gentlemen, how do?
Hello, all you lovely people. There are some people that have the effect of instantly pissing you off, and here is one of those people who has that effect on me. This is the second video that I've done in response to his total fuck-wittery. I might have to start a section called Wanker of the Week or Muppet of the Month, and this rage baiter would be in a prime position. And who am I referring to, you might very well ask. Meet the sad sack in his van, otherwise known as Van Man, Squawks. Our half-wit from Brighton recently posted a video while holding up the front page of the Telegraph. A good start for someone who throughout the video claims to be very left, leaning in air quotes. The front page story was about the very horrific grape of a woman by immigrants, and I am not downplaying or in any way condoning the grape. All grape is horrific and should be called out. But strangely enough, it only makes front pages of the belly laugh when immigrants are involved. Let's hear some rage baiting by a master baiter.
Howdy folks, greetings. Now, if this is the first time watching one of my videos, if you've stumbled across the channel for the first time, I would class myself as left-wing. You know, I believe in things like affordable council housing should be available to any citizen in this country that needs it. I believe in a well-funded, well-run public health service. I believe in nationalisation of utilities, of gas, water, electric, transport, rail. I believe in proactive economic policy. I believe in investing in problems before they become a problem. I believe in investing in homelessness to solve that problem because it's better for people and it's better for the economy in the long run. I also agree with, if we have gaps in the labour market, we should bring in immigration to fill those. I also agree that we should take in our fair share of asylum seekers, especially as this country is partly responsible for half the mess going on in the Middle East over the last 20 years. These are my core beliefs. These are my morals. So I would generally deem myself as left-wing. But recently, I've been getting frustrated. I've been getting frustrated of the dogmaticness of the left and just these labels in general. I hate the left and the right. It's so dogmatic. You know, people are better than this. We all have our own opinions, our own beliefs, our own morals, our own different life experiences. We shouldn't be taking the party line every single time of what the left say and what the right say.
This is coming from the man who has just spent the past couple of minutes banging on about what a progressive lefty he is and giving us all his core values. This is the bloke who maintains that we should have open discussions with the far right, as they are also correct in some of the things that they say. He even did a video with two absolute right, wing-knob heads, who even when they were spouting total bollocks, he didn't say a word, no pushback, not even a sarcastic side swipe. He basically let these two bend him over and give it to him hard and begged for more. Even very recently, he has been posting up videos about how we should try and listen to these Brexiters and these right-wing numpties. No, Mr. Ivor Van Wanker, we should be ridiculing them endlessly, something you lack the guts to do anymore, anything for a quiet life. But do continue.
And one of the issues I have is there's certain topics that the left just don't want to talk about, and it's very frustrating, and this is one of them. Now, I want to be careful about the words that I choose in this video. I want this video to be as accessible to as many people as possible, and there's certain keywords that YouTube doesn't like, but I've put it on screen. This happened in Brighton a couple of days ago, literally sort of right there where you're looking at, down the steps there, onto the seafront where all the nightclubs are, where every weekend girls, women go and enjoy themselves at nightclubs. That happened. Now, before we carry on with this story, there is a couple more things that I want to clear up. I have the opinion that every slice of society has its sick individuals. I also have the opinion that most asylum seekers would never dream of doing anything like that. I also hold the opinion that these sort of things are happening every single day in this country by white British men.
Strange how you don't do any videos about this when the perpetrators happen to be white British men, and the belly laugh, the lovely right wing rag whose front page you chose to use throughout the video. Don't talk about it. Either funny that, just like you, Mr. I am a progressive lefty, honest gov, they're all over it, when the perpetrators are immigrants. More very poor justification for you singling out immigrants.
Just look at the domestic violence figures, and that's just the ones that are reported on, let alone the ones that are not even reported. And there is nothing that I would love more to eradicate domestic violence from this country. Nothing I would love more. But this can be solved. This is a problem that can be resolved. And we can't have one single more incident like this happening when this is a problem that can be resolved.
Wonderful, Mr. Ivor Van Wanker. Let's hear your resolution to this problem, as you like to call it. We're all waiting, as you claim, to have the answer, just like Smeagol Froggage claims to have the answer next. You will be saying that we should all be listening to him, and still claiming that you are a big old progressive lefty. Here it comes. Folks, Ivor Van Wanker solves the grape-ist immigrant issue.
It's just about the political will to do it. Now, you don't have to be some sort of Tommy Robinson mega fan to just stand up and say, this is wrong, we need to do something about it. But for some reason, the left struggle to tackle this topic, to talk about this topic, shy away from it. Even now, recording this video, like, I know this is going to be controversial. And how? How can talking about this and condemning this be controversial?
Talking about grape is not controversial as you rage bait and point your fingers at the immigrants on the front page of the fucking Telegraph. Let's be honest here, the whole of this video is rage baiting, and had this horrible crime been carried out by white people, then neither you nor the shit rag known as the belly laugh would be saying anything. All this bollocks about, let's talk about immigration. Have you been hiding under a rock for the last 6 years? Because that's all the media and right-wing rags talk about. There's nothing new left to say. It's just the same old bullshit, rinse and repeat, aided and abetted by rage baiters like you. Do carry on with your faux outrage. Have you done any videos about violence against women, or only when you can rage bait?
But I know, I will get those comments. I'll get those comments saying, oh, why are you just singling out migrants? This is happening to white British men, blah, 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 blah. I know I'll get those comments. But why can we not talk about this? We should be able to talk about everything. And this is a problem that can be resolved. And it doesn't even matter which end of the political spectrum you sit on. Everyone can condemn this, and everyone can want a stop to this, and everyone can not want a single other incident happening like this.
Come down from your ivory tower, you sanctimonious prick. It's not just you that does not condone grape and violence against women. The majority of us do not condone those things, no matter which race of men it might happen to be committing them. And it's men that are the problem here, not just immigrant men, and are the ones committing those horrendous acts. How about we talk about what is wrong with men, instead of you trying to hide your casual racism and pointing your bony finger at immigrants?
Everyone can stand up and say that we are dealing with asylum seekers terribly. You don't have to be left-wing or right-wing to say that in this country right now, we are dealing with asylum seekers terribly. That individuals like this are being housed in hotels and are free to roam wherever they want to. And like I said, most asylum seekers would never dream of doing something like this. But some of them are, and they're doing it. And you can't just sweep it under the carpet. This is happening. It happened in Epping, it happened in Brighton this week.
Where was your video about the grape in Epping? Were you too busy protesting with the smooth brainers to get the immigrants moved elsewhere to do one? Will you be joining in with the smooth brainers if they decide to protest outside the Brighton Asylum Hostel, which is the correct term? These ex-hotels are no longer functioning hotels and are referred to as hotels by people trying to spread racism and fear. Now we are starting to get to the real reason for you doing this rage baiting video. It comes down to a bit of NIMBYism. You are fine with it happening elsewhere, not a peep out of you, but when it happens in Brighton, you get out the binoculars and go shouting at the sea.
We can't let another single incident like this happen. And the problem the left have is because they don't want to talk about this, average folks that are concerned about their daughters, about their wives, their partners, have only got the right to turn to talk about this. This is what we saw. This is why we see the Tommy Robinson demonstrations in London. Obviously, filled with hundreds of racists, but also filled with average folks that are concerned about these sort of things happening. And because the left don't want to know, the left don't want to talk about it, the only people they've got to turn to is your likes of your Tommy Robinsons, is the likes of your Nigel Farages. They're the only ones that are listening. The left don't want to talk about this because they're petrified. They're petrified of talking about subjects that involve race, that could be deemed as discrimination.
Pops, the oh-so-brave rage baiter Ivor Van Wanker, to talk about it and claim that this issue can be resolved easily, but gives absolutely no resolution and wants to be seen as some kind of a hero for making a rage-baiting video, demonizing immigrants, while hiding his casual racism and NIMBYism behind the cloak of, oh, the left are afraid to talk about it. Give me a fucking break. You are turning into the very things that you say you despise, like the Farages and the Tommy stupid haircuts and far too many names, and you do not even realize it, or maybe you do, as there is a lot more money to be made shilling for the far right. Soon you will be doing videos with the tagline of, I am just asking questions.
Which is ludicrous. It's ridiculous. We should be able to talk about anything. We should be able to talk on these topics. We should be able to talk about the fact that these two individuals come from Iran and Egypt. Why are they here? These countries are not at war. Also, we should be free and not afraid to talk about the fact that both these countries have very different views on women's rights. Their domestic rights records are not even records because this stuff doesn't even get reported. It shouldn't be controversial.
The mask is slipping. That wasn't even casual racism. That was full-blown racism there. And our very concerned citizen, Mr. Ivor Van Wanker, will soon be trotting out the Farage lines of we don't know where they are from or what past crimes they have committed, as he plasters on with a trowel a massive dollop of fear of the other. Shouldn't be controversial, but I am only asking questions. We see you.
To talk about that. It shouldn't be controversial that if asylum seekers are coming in, we need to make sure who they are. We need to make sure that they're not individuals like this that can be let free into public to do these sort of things. They need to be properly housed and vetted and see who these people are. That shouldn't be controversial. Now, I think it's also important to state why we're in this predicament and why we have this problem. And please don't try and take me as some sort of Keir Starmer Labour government apologist. I am not. But they have been landed with this problem. They have been handed this problem of asylum seekers being housed in hotels. And this is a Tory party problem. I mean, this stems right back to George Osborne, Cameron slashing funding to deal with asylum seekers, and then the Tory party deciding that the best way to deal with asylum seekers is to put them in hotels because it's the cheapest. It goes back to what I was saying about proactive policy compared to reactive policy. We've had 15 years of reactive policy.
You claimed at the very beginning of this massive racist rage baiting video that the solution was easy, and you had a magical resolution, but where is it?
Waiting for problems to arise, reacting to them, and basically finding the cheapest way to deal with it, which is exactly why we have asylum seekers housed in hotels, because it was the cheapest way to deal with it. And talking of Farage, he's a main factor in this as well. Brexit. Channel crossings ramped up drastically after we left the European Union. Why? Because the French had to take these people back. They had to actively stop them from coming, and they had to take them back. As soon as we left the European Union, they got no obligation to do this. I think it's important to point out that Farage and the Tory party, this is their problem. This is the problem that they made. Now, the Labour government have got to do something about it. They'll be just as bad and just as complicit if they let this problem increase. They have to do something about it. They have to do a better job of dealing with asylum seekers.
Condescending as well as racist, we all know who is to blame. It's not news to anyone with the slightest bit of critical thinking, but you claim to be able to resolve this at the beginning of the video, and instead of imparting us, mere dullards, with your great wisdom, all you have done is rage bait and try your best to cover up both your NIMBYism and racism, and fail really badly. You could have saved everyone 12 minutes of their lives if you had just used the infamous line of "my best mate is brown" at the beginning of this massive piece of arsewankery.
You don't have to be left wing or right wing to agree with this. And if they don't do a better job of it, extremism will increase. This is the thing. Your likes of your Tommy Robinsons are rubbing their hands in glee with this right now, because they are going to use this to their advantage for their political aims. But the majority of people are just average folks that are scared. They're scared about their... If you live in Brighton and you see this headline, are you going to be happy about your daughter going out to those nightclubs on Brighton seafront? Are you going to be scared? Of course you are.
There goes Mr. Ivor Van Wanker trotting out. The far right, fear of the other line, this fuckwit is turning into Farage right in front of our eyes, and it's really vomit-inducing.
And I bet the mother of the person that this happened to lived in Brighton, may have been a hardcore leftist open border type of person. I'd be very hard pushed to see if her opinions haven't changed on this recently. The left need to stop being scared of addressing this topic. And I would love to see the likes of Zach Polanski to come out and talk about this.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's the new messiah and political superhero, the Super Zach, here to save the day. But why, when you have the solution? And he still will not absolve you from being a racist fucking rage baiter.
Say, look, most asylum seekers would never dream of doing something like this. But we have to understand that some do, and some are, and it is happening, and we cannot have another incident like this happening. We have to address the fact and have conversations about the fact of the countries that these people are coming from and what their views are on women's rights. It shouldn't be controversial to talk about this stuff.
Did I hear you say that most white men are law-abiding and wouldn't dream of doing anything like this? No, just immigrants. But look, it really does not matter what the skin complexion of the individuals involved is, or if they're from Egypt, Tasmania, or fucking Timbuktu. Rape and violence against women is abhorrent, and not just when immigrants happen to do it in the town where you live. Tommy and Farage do not need to push stories like this when they have dim-witted, racist, NIMBY idiots like you to do it for them. Do everyone a favour, you racist fuckwit, and do what you really want to do. Those money making right-wing rage baiting videos. Next, you will be saying that we should talk about the UK, leaving the ECHR, being the concerned citizen that you are.
Out shopping last Saturday. I was getting some gear and this guy offered to pay. Who's the hunk? I think to myself. For so many years I've been left on the shelf. An old boiler. Then we went walking back down the high street and I felt really proud because he looked so neat. He was a real hard man, tough as they come. He said I was cool, but still felt like an old boiler. He bid me come out. How could I say no? He said, meet me at 8, round at my place, you know, with my new gear on and a blow-dried hairdo. But in my mind I knew I was still an old boiler. We danced all night long to a nice steady beat, but my hair went to frizz in the terrible heat. My mascara ran and so did my tights, confirming in my sight I must be an old boiler. So we came out this club, hot and sweaty, because we've been dancing all night. And he says to me, "Whoa, babe, what you doing then?" "Well, I think I might get a cab." I said casually, no, come back to my place. I only live just round the corner, you can go home in the morning, yeah?" "Well, I don't think so. I mean, I've only known you a day. It's a bit soon, innit? Give me a ring sometime, yeah?" But then he starts to get mad. "Listen here, girl. I bought that gear you got on. I paid you in here tonight. I bought you all them drinks and you want to go home, I should believe in cocoa." And then he stormed off. Well, I felt a right mug. Well, you would, wouldn't you? So I ran after him, caught him up. There we are, walking down the street about 100 miles per hour, arm in arm. No talking, atmosphere you could have cut with a knife. There was no one about, nothing to take your mind off it, you know, no cars, not even the occasional stray animal. It was cold and winds whistling through the trees, blowing newspapers against my legs, so I tripped as I tried to keep up with him. And there was all these little alleyways and railway bridges, stink of piss. Then all of a sudden, he grabbed hold of my arm and he starts to drag me up one of these alleyways. And he starts to hit me really hard across the face, you know. He was hitting me and grabbing at me. It was awful because I was so big. Hitting me wasn't tearing at my clothes. There was nothing I could do, honest. I was helpless. And then he tried to rape me. And there was nothing I could do, honest. All I could do was scream.
Massive shout out to the lads over on All Shots AI for making my words come to life. Say hello to them. Well, folks, if you enjoyed this video, then not only are you lovely people, but you also have great taste, and you should also subscribe to the Two Davies for news and politics from a very Scottish perspective, and that rantastic Mr. McGuinness. You should also subscribe to Mr. Daily Blasé's channel for merriment, mischief, and the Friday frolics. Cue growling cat.